Hey everyone. Um, I just wanted to make this video to talk a little bit about Ron Paul, and it's mainly because I'm a huge supporter of Ron Paul's, and also ever since he's announced his candidacy to run for president, he's been in the news more than usual, of course, and I just wanted to talk about him a bit because I think he really does have a good chance of winning the Republican nomination, or at least a fighting chance. Now, when he first came out onto the national scene about 4 years ago, when he ran in the 2008 presidential race, the Republican Party establishment and many Republicans across the country rejected his views. Uh, you know, they falsely claimed he was a liberal. Oh, sounds like a liberal because he's anti-war, and he's against criminalizing drugs. Yeah, I mean that was the consensus 4 years ago. And then after Obama won the election, and then the past couple of years have gone by, I think the views of Ron Paul, that were called fringe ideas, he was a fringe candidate, have suddenly kind of seeped its way into the mainstream, which is a very good thing. I think it is probably because the Republicans and conservatives alike, mainly true conservatives, who have been hoodwinked for years by the Bushies, they've been hoodwinked by the McCains, thinking that, oh yeah, they're conservative and all. They finally realized that, wait, I don't like Barack Obama, but George Bush did a lot of the same things that Barack Obama is doing right now, such as continuing endless wars, continuing these huge spending projects, doing nothing for, no reform for entitlement programs, doing nothing on illegal immigration. Barack Obama, even though I dislike him so much, it's sounding a bit hypocritical to say I like George Bush, but I don't like Barack Obama, because both of them are doing basically the same things. And that is the truth. And I think a lot of Obama supporters are realizing the same thing very slowly. They're just kind of coming out of that slumber, realizing that Obama is nothing but a hyped up stooge, which he's always been, and they're finally realizing it. And they're coming to realize that he's no different than the man that they despised for 8 years. And Ron Paul is not only attracting the views of Republicans who had rejected him 4 years ago, but also liberal Democrats are starting to support him. And the interesting thing is that seeing how well he is doing in the polls, I mean, he may not be ahead, he may not be like Mitt Romney. There's still a lot of people out there that have to be convinced. I think there's still a lot of people out there who, who are still into this whole mindset of, oh yeah, Mitt Romney's our guy. Really? You think he's going to be the one who's going to save the country? Mitt Romney is essentially no different than Barack Obama. Mitt Romney might as well be called George W. Bush 2.0. Mitt Romney is a neocon, not a true conservative, and he's just another puppet. That's what he is. And let me break down the other presidential candidates for you that are running right now. Okay, Michelle Bachmann. She's not a constitutionalist conservative. Okay, she's not. She may be right on some things, but this is the same woman that voted to extend the Patriot Act for another 4 years up until 2015. All she really knows how to talk about is Obamacare. Yet this is the same woman who supported the Iraq War. She supports the Patriot Act. She's a neocon. She's a neocon in disguise. Disguised as some kind of Tea Party patriot. She's not. Okay, Herman Cain, he does the same thing. He talks the talk, but he doesn't walk the walk. And the interesting thing is, the one thing that the mainstream media loves to leave out of his resume is the fact that he was a former board member for the Federal Reserve in Kansas City. Yeah, and he also said publicly he does not want to audit the Fed, which is a huge thing. If you want to actually fix this economy, you have to tackle the Federal Reserve. Okay? Rick Santorum, who cares about him? Rick Perry, he's a Bilderberger. That's as far as I'm concerned. That's just enough for me to not vote for this guy. Never vote for him in a primary. Mitt Romney, I already went over him. Sarah Palin, I don't think she's going to run. If she did, I don't care. Would never vote for her. Tim Pawlenty, he's a boring stooge. And Newt Gingrich has no chance in hell. A snowball's chance in hell to win. Nobody, not even a neocon, is going to vote for him. He's so unpopular. And I love how the mainstream media is bringing up names like, ooh, John Huntsman. Nobody knows who the hell John Huntsman is. They're bringing up him. They're bringing his name up constantly like he's some kind of legitimate candidate. Yet if you look at every single poll, he is dead last at 1% because nobody knows who he is and nobody cares about him. All he was an ambassador for China and a former governor for Utah. Whoop-de-doo. And, same thing. They're trying to push Giuliani out there into the front of the field. Giuliani, go run again. Yeah, the same guy who failed 4 years ago, who couldn't even win a county. I mean, in the primary season, and depended all on trying to win the Florida primary, and he lost there because he sucked. The guy only knew how to talk about 9/11, and that was it. And back to Rick Perry, they're pushing this guy, Rick Perry, like, oh, he's exciting the conservative base. Yeah, the idiot side of the conservative base, the side that depends on sound bites, Marxist, socialist, we got to get this country back. Obama's anti-American. No more government. I mean, it's just, Rick Perry's a stooge. This guy is the ultimate Bushy. He took over the Texas governor house after George Bush left in 2000 to become president of the United States. Okay, this guy has followed right in his footsteps. He supports a NAFTA superhighway. He attended a Bilderberg conference in 2007. This guy is basically an anointed person by the elite to take a high position in government. He's approved by the elite. This is a guy they want, and this is somebody in corporate media that they're trying to push out there. And I don't know, can I just get back to this John Huntsman guy? Why the hell are they keep pushing this guy that nobody's even ever heard of? Nobody cares about. He's so obscure. I don't know, I mean, it just pisses me off. Oh yeah, and there is one more candidate out there. His name is Gary Johnson. He's the former governor of New Mexico. He's about on the same page as Ron Paul, but unfortunately I don't think he's going to win anything because, people who would support Governor Johnson are already supporting Ron Paul. So Johnson would make a good maybe cabinet official, possible VP running mate if Ron Paul ever won the nomination. Now let me get down to the nomination fight. Now I know it's way too early. This is June 2011. And we've got a year and a half to go until we get to the election. And, in quite a ways until, February of next year when the primary season starts with Iowa. I think it's going to come down to Romney, Ron Paul, and possibly Bachmann and Herman Cain. Herman Cain and Bachmann, they attract the Tea Party / neocons. Romney just attracts ignorant voters and neocons. And Ron Paul attracts the libertarians and the people who are finally waking up to the truth and realizing if we don't do if we don't, start cutting the size of government, if we don't start getting out of these endless wars around the world, if we don't stop policing the world, then we are doomed. We're going to default. We're going to fall. This is like the British Empire when they extended their force so much around the world and then they fell. Okay, this is what the United States is doing to that extent. We keep going into these wars. We're going into, we're in Afghanistan, Iraq. We got drone bombings in Yemen and Pakistan. We're going into Libya. We don't know where the hell we're getting out of there. We've got about 900 bases in about 130 countries. It's like the British Empire, except it's almost like it's bigger than that. And at some point, not to mention we're over $14 trillion in debt. We have entitlement programs that aren't being reformed. Nobody's really willing to cut anything but stupid art programs, and that's it. Like, that's going to save the country. And Ron Paul is going to be the one that people are going to want to vote for serious change. Serious change. So I think, here's my prediction. In Iowa, I think it's going to be Romney versus Bachmann. I think Paul won't be as competitive there. I think in New Hampshire, it's going to be Romney versus Paul. South Carolina will be Paul versus Kane. Nevada, Paul versus Romney. I mean, I already have it mapped up in my head because I'm ready to get on board with Ron Paul and his campaign. I want to see what I can do in the next few months, seriously considering. So thank you for taking the time to watch this video. I know it can get a little boring at some time throughout the video, but thanks for watching. And please subscribe to this channel. It's Original 1001 BG. Also check out my main channel, Conservative 1001 BG. And the only differences between the two is that I post more copyright videos on Original 1001 BG than I do over at my other one, because if I did post like, Fox News or MSNBC videos over at my main channel, it could get suspended because I already have 2 strikes on there. I don't want to add a third. This one has nothing. This one doesn't matter as much to me. So yeah, I shouldn't say it shouldn't matter, but it does. It's just I've worked on the main one a little longer than this one. Anyway, thanks for watching, and leave a comment, video response, whatever. Thanks. Bye.